So in today's episode, we're going to be looking at physical versus chemical properties. So before we actually answer that, we need to actually ask the question, how are substances identified? Hey guys, my name is Gary and welcome to Synergy's new syllabus web series. We know that many of you guys out there will struggle with the new syllabus, so we decided to create this web series to help you smash your HSC. So let's get started. Well, the best way to identify a substance is through its properties, and this is usually split into two types. Firstly, your physical, secondly, your chemical. So what are they? So starting with your physical properties first, let's take a closer look at a coin in your pocket. It could be a 50-cent coin, a $1 coin, or even a $2 coin. It doesn't really matter. But from a coin, you can see that it's actually made from several metals called an alloy. You can tell that it is made from these metals because it is shiny, maybe has a silver color, and these two descriptions are what we call physical properties. So the definition of a physical property is a characteristic that can be observed or measured without changing the composition. So what this means is that if you toss your coin in a fountain, it's going to sink. Why? Well, because a coin is a lot more dense than water, and so therefore it's going to sink in the fountain. Makes sense, right? So in this case, density is actually another example of a physical property. Your coin may be a little wet, but it's still composed of the same material as it was before you tossed it into the fountain. So some other examples of physical properties would include color, mass, smell, boiling point, volume, and even temperature. Let's use another example. Let's say your family car. So your family car is 100% likely to be made from another metal. How can you tell? Well, it probably has a very similar density to the coin in your pocket. And what other properties might a car have? Well, if you get hit by something, it's going to dent instead of shattering like glass. So this property is actually known as malleability. It is a property that's shared amongst most metals, and it is a physical property in itself too. So now let's talk about chemical properties. And let's actually use the same family car that you own. And let's say this car is actually made out of iron. And let's actually fast forward 10 years. Would the car that you own look the same? Well, probably not, because iron is unfortunately not the most stable metal. And so when it reacts with oxygen, it's going to transform into rust. This ability to react with oxygen is what we call a chemical property. A chemical property is a characteristic that can only be determined by changing the chemical identity of a substance. To make it even simpler, chemical properties are actually to do with valence electrons and the octet rule. If elements have similar electron configurations, they have similar chemical properties. A really good example are the noble gases. Since the valence shells are filled, they are highly unreactive. And that's it. So to summarize what we've learned today, firstly, with physical properties, they are characteristics that can be observed or measured without changing the composition. Some physical properties learned today include some of these: density, malleability, color, mass, smell, boiling point, volume, and temperature. Chemical properties, on the other hand, are a characteristic that can only be determined by changing the chemical identity of a substance. Remember, chemical properties are to do with an element's number of valence electrons. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching today's video. I hope that our web series will bring you immense amounts of value for your studies and the HSC. For more information, visit our website, synergyhsc.com. Stay tuned for the next episode.